Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome once again to the TangentCast.
so, yeah, how's things been with you this week?
Well, I'm not dying of a horrible illness, so there's that.
+1 for Amy.
What about you?
Also not dying of random illnesses.
Cool.
And overall pretty good.
Cool.
So, would you like to start on what you've been playing first, or?
Yeah, I don't mind starting. Been playing a bit more Doom. It's still great. Making the obligatory trip to hell at the moment, so that's always nice.
Right.
Very much enjoying that. Well, I'm not very far into the hell area, and saying you go to hell in a Doom game is not really a spoiler.
No, it's a bit like me saying, well...
There's guns.
Yeah.
Spoiler, there's guns.
Right, or it's better on PC. Oh, wait.
Oh. Yeah, I had a friend over the other day, and
You've got a friend?
Yeah.
You have
and
a friend?
She can't afford to get Doom yet, so I was like, come over to my house, we'll play some video games, and I said,
Does she have a PC?
No.
Well, in which case she can't...
She's got PS4.
In which case she doesn't get to play it anyway, really, does she?
Well, Doom is on PS4.
I meant properly.
I said, you can play
Can you
Doom.
see I'm in one of those moods?
I tried to get her to try keyboard and mouse, but she wouldn't even try it. She made me plug in my Xbox controller for Doom, and I was just like, you can't play Doom with a controller.
That's wrong. Let me explain how it's wrong.
It's so much more precise on keyboard and mouse, and she's just like, yeah, I know, but controllers what I'm used to. And I'm like, but PC Master Race.
You should have just smacked her on the nose every time she was like, controller, smack. Okay, it puts the hand on the mouse and it puts the other hand on the wires.
To be fair, if you've not really used keyboard and mouse before, it does take some getting used to. If what you're used to is controller, I know. When I switched over, it did take me a little while to get used to it.
To be fair, I originally started to play, going way back when, because for a long while, I'd played a few games on PC FPS.
Yeah.
But it was like the original Doom, which didn't exactly have mouse look.
No.
Or at least up and down mouse look. And then I mostly was playing on the Sega Saturn / PS1. And then I got a PC. And I basically adapted to FPS instantly on keyboard and mouse. I was like, oh. The only problem was back then it had the old trackball, the proper ball mouse with the more optical.
Yeah, I remember those.
And then you had to clean out the bloody gook from the rollers. Yeah. And then you was like...
I don't miss those.
And then you felt really bad about everything you'd ever touched that mouse after.
Yeah, so...
You can think of what that means, viewers.
I played some more Doom, and played some more Dark Souls 3.
So, basically...
Still been playing my magic character, and I have to say, I'm not really feeling magic in that game.
I'm unsurprised.
I mean, maybe it's just I'm doing it wrong, because I'm usually
Probably.
full-on sword board, hide behind my shield, circle strafe, and hope for the best kind of player.
Right.
So...
You're one of those
having to change my playstyle so utterly and completely...
What, with skill you mean?
So... Yeah, I mean, I'm finding it challenging, which is why I wanted to try it, because I thought, I completed the game, so I want to try a character that I've never tried before, which is a magic character, so I thought...
Go on.
And it's cool, but it is definitely a challenge, so I can't really complain, because that's kind of what I wanted.
Okay.
Other than that, just trying to think, I've been playing anything else. We played a bit of Castle Crashers as well, when my friend was over, because you can play 2-player on that, and that was fun. But obviously that game came out,
a while ago.
A few years ago now, a while ago. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. What about you?
Doom, I won't talk about that because you already have.
Yeah.
And Uncharted, which I'm really enjoying. The only issue I have with Uncharted is I think at the beginning, first few chapters, especially maybe chapter 2 to 5-ish, there was an awful lot of walking and talking, which I feel maybe they should have spread that out a little bit more. However, I'm saying that based upon the fact that I'm only about 8 or 9 chapters in. So...
No, I mean, I've never actually played an Uncharted game because
here come the downvotes.
I never owned a PS3, so there was literally
There's no an excuse.
Yeah, I should summon like a giant from the ether then.
Yes.
So, but surely with that sort of narratively driven experience like that, the start is going to be like story.
I feel
10 out of 10 professionalism.
Yeah, don't worry about that noise.
He was playing with a tennis ball and then dropped it.
I said, don't worry about that. That's not for you to blab to the viewers.
I feel like they're more than entitled to know what that noise was.
Okay. I feel that the game's pacing is different in this one compared to the previous.
Right.
But I say that without having played 2 or 3 recently. So maybe it's just my memory. But with all of that said, the game's really impressive. It's got some pretty impressive physics. The story so far I'm really enjoying. Combat is as good as ever. In fact, I'd say it's actually slightly tighter.
Right.
The only concern I've got is there are still the odd hinky glitch here and there with physics. Although the physics and overall game engine's very much improved, there are still a few weird things, like if you walk up and down a slope, sometimes the animation's a bit janky. Or you'll also notice a lot of softness, motion blur occasionally. But overall, I mean, it looks pretty darn impressive considering they're working just on a PS4. I mean, yeah, what more do you want? Yeah. Maybe when the PS4 Neo comes out, Naughty Dog will patch it so it's a bit more powerful and it can take advantage.
Maybe. I mean, we can hope. I mean, I always said about like The Last of Us, like that game looked amazing.
And
obviously we eventually got it on PS4, but at the time, obviously, it was only on PS3, and I said, you know, how amazing would this be on PS4 because it looked beautiful even on PS3. And even when it came out on PS4,
the game was struggling on the PS3.
Yeah, you could really tell they had squeezed like literally all that they
could.
Like,
do you remember when we were playing it together and we were in that underground area and there was all that gas and the frame rate? Jesus Christ! I was like, my
frames.
I think it must have gone to about 20.
I don't know. We weren't counting them, but it dipped below what is acceptable.
It was terrible, and I do remember that because they patched it and that did improve the frame rate. But it was really bad.
There's only so much you can do with a patch update at the end of the day. Like you're still at that time working on the same hardware. But like even when it was on PS4 and obviously it had a better frame rate and all that and better improved graphics. Even then I said like this is much better. But what I would give to see this on PC because it truly is a beautiful game even on console. And just to see that game on PC I think would be awesome. Obviously that will never happen in a million years. But I can dream.
Alright. Anyway, do we want to get on with the top 6?
What did you want to talk about first? This you decide. Dealer's choice.
Alright. Well, I'll let you start because it's something you covered, so I know nothing about, so that'll be a change. So let's talk about... She's giving me a look of death. Mm-hmm. So I think I might die after this video. Maybe that's a bit too far. So let's go with IGN buying game trailers.
Yeah. I did cover this in a video, so watch that if you want all the details. But essentially the TLDR is... Obviously we all know game trailers shut down a few months ago now because Defy closed them. And the main cast of the game trailers went on to make a Patreon, which is now making a crazy amount of money. I can't remember, 37,000 or something, some crazy amount for like. There's like 9 of them though. So anyway,
even so,
but obviously the website and their old content was still going the way of the dodo until IGN, good guy IGN came along, and there's not often that I say that. Or anyone says that, to be honest. Came along, bought the IP and all of their content. So now they're archiving all of it. So all of their old content that perhaps some of it was never uploaded onto YouTube and other stuff, it's all being uploaded onto their YouTube channel. Obviously the website is gone. There's not much they can do about that. But all of their content is going to be on their YouTube channel. And they even said that they're going to be uploading new trailers on there, and there might be something else coming as well, but they didn't even infer as to what they could be. So maybe occasionally we'll get sort of the occasional episode of the old stuff that they used to do on GT there. So it's basically, even though game trailers is still gone, at least all of their old content is being preserved, which is good.
The funny
they were
thing
around for like, what was it, 12 years or something?
The funny thing? I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it's someone, it might have been on NeoGAF, I'm pretty sure it was a forum, and I recall someone literally downloading all the videos and was archiving them on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, so obviously IGN have got the resources to do this properly, and they said it's going to take them, all the videos are going to be up like next month.
Right.
And considering how many videos they've got, that's actually pretty fast.
It is.
So, well done IGN. And it's quite funny, I looked at the comments on that video, and a lot of the comments were like, I don't say this often, but thanks IGN.
Yeah, you've not, done something bad for once.
Yeah, so there's that. You want to pick the next one?
I think I need to talk about the Founders Edition of the GTX 1080 for the lols value.
Okay, go on then.
I was watching a video someone posted who basically filmed after the press conference.
Okay.
It was done.
Right.
And surprisingly, NVIDIA didn't want that public.
Okay.
So basically what happened, normally NVIDIA release a card, for example, whatever that is, let's say the 980, and they have their own variant of the cooler.
Right.
Right. So basically they just, for lack of a better word, they just call it the reference design. So it's the reference PCB, so which tells the manufacturers, here's the recommended clocks here's the clocks that we recommend running the card at, here's the cooling solutions that we impose, and it's all basically down to the quality of the components, all that other stuff, right? NVIDIA have decided essentially to rename it to the Founders Edition.
Right.
And Too Long Didn't Read version of this, it's $100 more expensive. So people immediately said, well, what's going on with the Founders Edition then? Is there differences in like clocks? Like, is it pre-overclocked? Or are you essentially speed binning the chips? So basically you're making sure that it's a premium version of those cards. Basically the chips, so that you're going to get the maximum clock speed possible. No, they said. So they said, what instead we're saying that ours is the highest quality components. It's the best quality possible. It's the, and another journalist said, so what you're telling us then is the vendors who are buying these cards for you and selling them, your partners, are selling lower quality. And yours are the better quality.
That's what I was thinking. Like, basically saying that, like, if you don't cough up the extra $100, you're getting like the budget version, even though you're still paying like what, $300-400.
Well, it's much more than that. It's like 500 and odd.
Yeah.
But who hell knows how much that's going to be in the UK pounds? I can't remember what the conversion is. But basically, their faces on stage, they just kind of had this look where everyone, like the three people on stage, exchanged looks of like, no, oh god, oh god, yeah, and you could tell each of them was like, fuck, I don't know how to answer this, and for a good 30 seconds they were just stalled on stage, like, no, that's not what we mean. And basically, no, we're instead saying that this is what we recommend because so they said, okay, well, why is the Founders Edition more expensive? Because you've tried to sell this stuff previously, using the same quality of component, and basically they were stumbling. I mean, it's really worth the watch. And it was just one of those things where, to be honest, they never satisfactorily answered the question.
Right.
And it really feels like the Founders Edition, to be honest, is kind of a sneaky price increase.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it doesn't sound like, from what you've said, obviously I haven't seen the video in question, but I might, because it sounds like pretty... It sounds pretty...
I linked it on our Facebook.
It sounds pretty delicious schadenfreude, to be honest. So,
I linked it on our Facebook.
I'll probably give that a watch later, but from what you've said, it sounds like they have failed to explain why I should cough up the extra $100.
I mean, for example, they said that, it's available on our website, and also our partners could sell it, but it was very much a case of it felt like, I don't necessarily know if they were doing it from a bad place, as in they had bad intentions, but they didn't think through how the perception was going to, how the whole movement was going to be perceived.
Games companies a lot have this problem where they'll say a thing to a bunch of investors, and the investors will be like, cool, great, that sounds amazing because it makes them money. But then they say it to gamers, and gamers are like, why are you doing that? And then they don't have an answer.
Because one of the reviewers said, and I quote, well, not exact quote, but pretty quote, okay, you've said all of that, but how am I going to explain to a reader, one of our viewers, why your card is worthy of the premium and why you've increased it by $100? And they just looked at each other again, like, and the best that they managed to come up with is, well, we don't expect you to, we're just putting out a product, and if people want to buy it, then they can. But
that's not an answer.
No, they're just like, we're giving an alternative of how we think the card should be manufactured. So I said, once again, then you're saying that your card is better than your partner's card, and they just kept going round and round in circles.
Well, they didn't have an answer, because the real answer is, we thought we could make more money this way.
Exactly.
And obviously they can't say that, but that is the real answer for why.
I mean,
they've decided to do
I am
this.
slightly glossing it over, but the essential.
Well, send the link to me and I'll link it in the description.
As I said, it's on our Facebook.
Yeah, I know, but that's effort. So send it to me. And
so it's more effort. So you want me to go for the effort?
Yes.
Okay.
Because then I can put it in the description for our viewers, and they can watch it and decide for themselves.
Okay. Anyway, do you want to move on?
Yes. So. Next thing is Dishonored 2, which is looking pretty promising.
It was actually one of my surprise hits, actually, Dishonored.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, but I don't normally enjoy stealth games all that much.
I wonder why.
One of the reasons is I'm not very good at them. But Dishonored, I really enjoyed, and I was actually surprisingly not terrible and managed to do a low chaos run pretty easily. I mean, it was challenging at times, don't get me wrong, but compared to how my previous attempts at stealth have gone, I was actually pretty pleased with Dishonored, how it went, and all the different powers, and the world itself was really interesting. I mean, the only thing that was really lacking is the story wasn't all that great.
I felt that the story, I feel the problem with the story with the original Dishonored is that there was a lot of stuff going on, but it felt like you were either too late or the narration wasn't there. So, for example, I felt that sometimes I felt like I was in the middle of a story, but I didn't think I was a part of the story at times.
Yeah, and not only that, it's like, okay, you had a villain for most of the game, and then the game does that thing where you get rid of them, but then it's just replaced with a new villain, which always just feels really cheap, to be honest. And the main thing that kind of broke the game for me is, it sounds silly, but the conversations you can overhear from like the NPCs, they didn't sound like conversations that humans have. Let's just put it that way. It's like, yes, we are human friends. Let us go out for drinks later and stuff. And I'm just like, oh dear. You can kind of tell that they were lacking some budget in some areas. So hopefully now, after the big success of Dishonored, they can address these problems. Because even though we just spent the last 2 minutes moaning, I really enjoyed Dishonored. And even though I bought it on sale, I would have been quite happy if I'd paid full price for it.
No, I've tried. I haven't finished all of the DLC, but apparently that's pretty good as well.
Yeah, I haven't actually played the DLC. I've played the main game.
Bridgemore Witches feels really good.
I had so many games to play. I was just like, you know what,
that's the main issue with a lot of games. It's like what I know, and this is somewhat off topic, and I'm curious if any viewers have the same issue. Sometimes, let's say for example, the game's released, and then 6 months later the DLC comes out. The big problem is, I kind of feel to myself, well, the issue with that is now I'm invested in so many other games.
Yeah, that's the issue.
And so what I have to do is sometimes mentally tell myself, like on the months where there's like that drought.
Yeah, save the DLC for when there's a drought, unless like, for example, when the Dark Souls 3 DLC comes out this fall, I will undoubtedly be going back to the game, assuming I'm not still playing it.
Because otherwise you can just literally never have time to finish everything.
Exactly.
Especially if you get like The Witcher, because the bloody DLCs are longer than most games.
Yeah,
they're like 30, 40 hours or whatever.
The expansions are bigger than most modern games, which is crazy. So I mean, for example, like I had a job interview like a few weeks ago, and they said like, what game would you take with you on a desert island if assuming you've got internet on desert island? And I said, well, I take The Witcher Witcher 3 because it kept me going for a few months.
I think Fallout as well, but to be honest, I just can't get into Fallout.
The Witcher 3, in my humble opinion, is better than Fallout, but that's just me.
To be honest, I felt that Fallout 4 was good, but I think it was way overhyped. And I think it was a solid game, but...
I've always found all of their Bethesda's big releases to be like this big hype machine, and then you play it and then it's good, but it's not like the best thing ever.
Even Skyrim, like Skyrim on PC, once fully modded, is really good, but it takes so many fucking mods to fix the game.
That's what I'm saying, but the thing that annoys me about Bethesda is they get so many free passes. It's like, it's not an argument to say that mods will fix the game. It's like,
well, if you're playing on console, you're fucked.
Yeah, A, if you're playing on console, that doesn't apply, and B, why should modders fix your game? Don't release it in a broken state to begin with.
Like the GUI, for example, on Skyrim on PC was really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I originally played it on Xbox. This is before I had a decent PC, but even on consoles, like this UI is not good.
No.
So yeah, Dishonored is kind of went on a massive tangent away from my point there. But my point is, with the original Dishonored, there was two endings: the sort of good ending and the bad ending, and it was directly locked into how many people did you murder. And while that was cool, it was very linear. Choice A or choice B, that's it. And there wasn't really much decision making. There wasn't much decision making going into it. It was literally like, am I going to murder or not? That was literally the only decision you had to make. They have said that the new one is going to have multiple endings, and it's going to be more looked into the choices you make throughout the game that aren't just like how many people did you murder. So that's one thing they're going to be addressing, which is good.
Okay.
Alright, so I guess the NX, they said a mysterious thing that doesn't make any sense.
Basically Nintendo. Speaking of which, did you hear about the whole Minecraft fiasco with Nintendo where they've been claiming Minecraft videos on the Wii U?
No.
Basically, a lot of gamers are pissed because Nintendo have been doing copyright claims on Minecraft videos for the Wii U, even though the developers had originally said that this will not happen. Nintendo have been doing blanket claims anyway, and now supposedly behind the scenes they're trying to fix the problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mojang have always been pro...
It wasn't Mojang though that ported it. I can't remember the developer.
Yeah, I don't know who ported it to the Wii U, but they are the owners of the IP at the end of the day.
I know. So basically, here's the problem.
And they would be the ones with final say, them and Microsoft. But considering that YouTube and streaming made Minecraft as popular as it is, they have always been pro.
Well, some
YouTube.
people have gone as far as to say that that Nintendo are essentially stealing, because
they don't own Minecraft.
Yeah, because it's not only the fact that they're actually claiming from a game that they don't own, but they're also claiming from a Let's Play. So even if you want to say that Let's Players shouldn't be allowed to monetize, which you are under, fair use. But even if you say you weren't that, you're still essentially... And that's not even as fucked up, by the way, as the whole Fox thing. Did you hear about the Fox thing?
Nope.
Oh, I'll let you... Google it later. Fox steals YouTube video. Just Google it, and I'm not even going to go into that. Basically, Fox took a YouTube video, which was 1.5 minutes. Mm-hmm. They put it into Family Guy.
Oh, no. I remember, yeah. And then they DMCA'd the real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear about this. I just remembered. Oh, yeah.
They literally DMCA'd the original video, which had been up since 2009. They DMCA'd it, and when the guy tried to appeal, they tried to fight back for a while, and eventually they reinstated the video.
Yeah, because they got no leg to stand on. He was there first. It's his video.
Yeah, they literally re-uploaded the entire... And it's this tiny YouTuber. I think he had like 200-300 subs. And obviously now the video's got like hundreds of thousands of views because everyone's trying to find it online.
Yeah, but that isn't the point.
And you know what really pisses me off about that? The fact that Fox have had no repercussions or anything.
That's one of the main things that annoys me about YouTube, is that companies can do shit like that and get away with it. That is the main bugbear that I have, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, anyway, we're getting way off the top.
We're going off on a massive tangent this week. Next thing, I guess, would be the NX, which is what we were talking about for a bit on that tangent. Basically, Kimishima said that the NX is a successor to neither the Wii U or the 3DS, and your guess is as good as mine as to what that actually means.
I could make a really harsh joke about the successor of the system. So it's kind of like how the Wii U isn't really a successor to the Wii, but I'll be nice.
What does that mean? It's like, okay, so it's either a home console or it's a handheld. Or if it's both, like the rumours have been saying, then it's successor to both.
It's so ambiguous. You could even say that...
It literally means nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you could even say that that's their way of saying that the systems are going to coexist, but I don't think that that's going to be the case.
That's not going to happen, and even Nintendo knows that. No one's... Once the NX comes out, no one is going to buy a Wii U.
Pretty much. I mean, why would you?
I mean, it's like, you know, saying, why would you buy a PS3 now that the PS4's out?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's quite
Unless,
funny.
like, you can find a PS3 for, like, 80 quid or whatever, then it's like, alright, fair enough. But otherwise...
The one good positive piece of news that these guys did have, though, did you hear Pokken Tournament not only outsold Street Fighter V, but it has, like, 1,000 EVO entrants.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I haven't actually played it, but I've heard nothing but positive things about that game.
Same.
I've heard that it's actually not only a really good game, but it's actually an excellent fighting game with lots of really good mechanics and all this other stuff. So
yeah, it's good. It's apparently got a good story as well. I've not played it.
I hope that it actually becomes pretty big in the esports scene, because that might actually encourage Nintendo to put it out on the NX, which means I'd have to buy a Wii U to play it. So I really want to play that game, but I don't want to buy a Wii U to play it.
Anywho,
yeah, let's blast through the next couple of things. Do you want to go for the 1070?
Yeah, so the specifications, some of the specifications for the 1070 have been released. I mean, maybe more have been since the last few minutes that I looked, but
yeah,
essentially,
it's very doubtful.
So basically, it's looking like it's going to be about as powerful as maybe what we expected. It's looking to be about 75% faster, 50-75% faster than the 970.
Which is about what we thought.
Yeah, roughly. And it's kind of weird because with the news that Polaris 10 supposedly is also going to be seeing a release, let's say, next month or so. Obviously, depends if there's paper launch or not. It'll be really interesting to see how the high-end Polaris and the GTX 1070 stack up. If Polaris has 36 or more compute units, theoretically speaking, if you start doing some basic mathematics on this, he says as he gets his calculator open, so let's say you have 40 compute units, which is like the highest end estimate of Polaris 10. 40 times 64, because there's 64 shaders per thing, that's 2560. Then you times that by 2 because 2 operations per clock. Then you times that by, let's say, a fairly conservative clock speed of around 1450. That's actually wrong. Good old double clicking the wrong thing. 1450. Then you're looking at about 7.40 flops. On the other hand, if you were to say 36 compute units times 2 times 64 times, let's say, once again, 1450, then you're looking at about 6. So theoretically, Polaris 10 should hit, let's say, 6 to 70 flops of performance. And considering that the specifications of the of the 1070 supposedly a 1920 by 2 by, let's say, a fairly similar clock speed, let's say 1600, it should theoretically mean that the high-end Polaris has either slightly higher or about even amounts of floating point 32 performance. So it's going to be really interesting how the two GPUs stack up. It's really going to come down to pricing.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to pricing, AMD are usually the cheaper option when it comes to value for money and the performance that you get for your money. So if they manage to either beat or equal what Nvidia have in store, but have it cheaper, especially given the whole Founders thing that we just talked about earlier, they might end up winning this one.
What's quite weird though is yesterday or the day before, it was actually the day before, I covered the fact that, well, one of the things I covered was that AMD have started to get market share back from Nvidia.
Oh, that's good. And
the main reason cited is A, their pricing, but B, it's also their drivers, DirectX 12 and their Crimson Edition drivers. So I think back in the day, Nvidia's drivers were definitely better, but now I don't think that's the case.
Well, as I said last week, the last few drivers for Nvidia have been a gamble if you install them, because a lot of them have been breaking PCs, blue screens, and all sorts. So Nvidia have not been doing well in drivers recently.
They have started to improve things, though. Fortunately, they fixed that. So I think it's good. I honestly think this is going to be one of those generations of GPUs, because the mobile version of the 1080, it supposedly has more performance, the laptop iteration, than the Titan X, which is crazy for desktop.
That's insane if that's true.
Well, Asus said it was. They released benchmarks, although they couldn't call it the
So
same.
that would be a crazy high-end gaming and editing laptop then.
It's mad. I mean, you have that thing and you could play like 1080p, 1440p, 4K.
That would actually be a decent option for someone who wants to game on the go if they travel a lot or whatever.
Exactly. So I think this iteration of GPUs is going to be spectacular no matter what your price range or budget is.
It's interesting. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what actually comes out and everything, and definitely going to be an upgrade on the horizon for us soon, I think.
Pretty much.
So, yeah, there's no questions. I think
oh, wait, we've got a little bit of Oculus Rift.
Oh, yes. Let's quickly go through this. I did cover this yesterday, so again, shameless plug, go and watch that if you want the whole info. But basically, there was a hack called Revive, which enabled Oculus Rift exclusive games to be played on the Vive and other headsets, obviously with the, specs to run them. But the recent Oculus update to their store has kind of killed it. Basically, it killed it outright at first, but a lot of people have been saying in the comments of my video that Unreal Engine games are now working again, but only Unreal Engine games are working with the Revive hack. So it might be just a matter of time before Revive is working again, but for now the update has killed it. And Oculus basically said that this was to protect the software that the developers made. So basically say, hey, we don't want you pirating games, which seems fair until you look at a statement from the guy who made Revive. Now, obviously, this is his statement, so take from it what you will. But he basically said that the check that they do, that the DRM does now, is do you have a Rift headset plugged in? And if the answer is yes, cool, you're good to go. It does not check for the integrity of the software. So basically, you could have a Rift, cool, but you might have pirated the game and the check will not detect that. So it's not protecting the software at all, it's protecting the hardware. According to him. I know nothing about VR in terms of the technical development side, so I can't vouch for how accurate he is.
Your move.
But if he's right, which I have no reason to say that he's not, because he obviously knows enough to create a hack. If he's right, then they're lying. Basically.
You know what? There's going to be someone, I guarantee you at some point, someone's going to get around that anyway, and they're just going to create a virtual driver or something similar. You know how Motion Joy works? How it basically uses the 360 driver to basically make the system think that the DS4 or DS3 is a 360. So that's how software detects it. I guarantee at some point someone's going to do similar for the headsets.
Probably. I mean, exclusivity to a headset seems ridiculous to me. It's like saying you can only play this game on this monitor. It's essentially what it is, because it's just another form of display.
Well, did you see about Notch, what his tweet was?
Oh, yeah, but you don't want to say
basically,
what it is.
I think it was yesterday on Twitter, I was following Notch, and he said something along the lines of, I don't want to misquote him, but essentially he said that he has no real desire to ever play on our good old friend Oculus now, because he said that the technology behind the Vive is just so much better.
There is one thing to keep in mind with Notch, though. He is a little bit biased against Oculus, because as soon as they were bought by Facebook, he pulled support, so just keep that in mind. I mean, that's his prerogative, he can do with his business and his IP what he wants, but I'm just saying keep that in mind.
Okay. Anyway, did you want to mention the last little thing?
Before we close out, just want to say that next weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I will be at London Comic Con. So if you're going, feel free to say hello. I will be cosplaying as Jacket from Hotline Miami on Saturday and Sunday, and on Friday I will just be myself. So if you see me, do feel free to say hello. But we are actually having a meetup Saturday evening.
I've got a quick question.
Yes.
Okay, I want you to picture something.
Okay.
Right. So you're at your expo, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you've got your little chicken mask on, right?
I'm not going to actually have it on unless someone else my photo, though, because it's too hot.
Well, even with the jacket alone, I predict that you're going to be dying by the time that the evening comes.
Probably. But I considered wearing Corvo again, and then I looked at how hot it's supposed to be that weekend, and I just went nah.
It's okay, I like water in my body.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to be releasing a video soonish saying the exact meeting place and stuff like that, but it's basically going to be the Saturday, so next Saturday.
We haven't actually said why we're meeting.
What?
You didn't say.
I said meet up.
Oh. I thought you were going to say about the meal.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Oh.
You interrupted me.
Well, you should have led with that.
You interrupted me.
Well, no.
Anyway.
That's me smacking up.
Yes. Anyway, the point is, we're going to be meeting up on Saturday around 7. I'll say the proper meet-up time to basically go for some food at a Japanese place just around the corner from the convention centre. It does have veggie options if you're interested in attending. Feel free to comment below or in my video that I'll be putting up in the next couple of days to inform everyone who's interested of the time, So feel free to come along if you want.
Yeah, I will be there for the meal, but I won't be there for the rest.
Yeah, so it's just going to be me the whole weekend, but Paul will be in attendance as I will be as well for the meal. So if you fancy coming along, then feel free.
Yeah, I'll be there at the meal. Amy will be there. And
a couple of friends of ours will be there as well.
Yeah, so feel free to come along.
Mm-hmm.
We won't, kidnap you or anything.
No.
Maybe.
Maybe if you're a valuable, asset or something, like you're a prince or something, then we might.
Nah.
Anyway, that's us done for this week. Thank you very much for listening.
So now we're on some government hit lists.
Weren't we already, though?
I don't know. Speak for yourself.
I think we probably were already.
Okay. Just want clarifications there.
Anyway, that's us done. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Pretty much. You didn't think I was going to say that, did you?
I did. I was just waiting.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, and it's mine.